Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Yeah, I started 2 minutes early. Sue me. Um, so, let me get a couple of things out the way before we go any further in this discussion. Now, apparently, Bev and Riley have kind of teamed up. I don't know, both together you couldn't make a whole ass out of them, but both of them have decided to go on the route of trying to pre-bunk my my bending water test. Now, a couple of updates. First of all, yes, I am still going to redo the bending water test because I'm not happy with test failure. That just makes you do it harder next time.
Ooh, hold on.
What's that?
You're on the Hangout. Your audio is absolutely great, but on the stream, yeah, your audio is ass.
Oh, okay. I know why that is. Hold on 1 second. That means the stream
Is using the wrong microphone.
is using the wrong mic. Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second here. Mic audio settings, properties. Yep, it's using my stupid little. Rainer. Okay. Hey, how's that sound?
Let me catch up again.
It probably sounds a whole hell of a lot better. Testing one.
It's still catching up. It's got that nice long delay.
3, 4, 5. So, show me
You're
bacon
just
if
you're just
everybody.
about to switch microphones in the stream.
Okay. Sean can never sound bad. Oh. Well, thanks a whole lot, guys. Jeez.
You're back, but you need to turn your gain up in the stream somehow.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing that on here. All right. So anyway, let's get back to this. Like I said, Bev / Try Thinking / whatever name he decides to pick each week in Twitter, and Riley have seemed to have joined forces trying to pre debunk my my bending water test. And like I promised everybody that I'm going to do it again. We all know that I need the right weather conditions for it to reduce as much atmospheric distortion as possible due to heat. Now, I was planning on doing it this in the springtime, early springtime, but unfortunately, we all got smacked down with quarantine. And if I was going out trying to test and show something actually groundbreaking, like disproving something out there in the world, that might be worth getting a fine or something like that for. But seeing that I would be going out there to, well, my argument would be I'm trying to prove that the Earth is round to a police officer. That just I can't imagine that discussion would go very well. And on top of that, the fines that would be associated with it. But nevertheless, so a couple of things I want to get out of the way here. Now, we all know that Riley has said, he has vocalized that he supports the fact that I'm doing a test. Yay, thanks, Riley. That's the one time you didn't lie about me. But at the same time, this guy Bev, who I was introduced to, I think just a couple of months ago, when he was on Twitter, actually trying to claim my footage and my graphics as his test. Now, of course, I don't own the rights to the words water level. Of course I don't. However, my testing material and the work that I was doing on it are mine. And if you want to talk about it, but don't claim it as your own. Well, this guy Bev, he found himself up on Twitter. This is when Try Thinking. This is when he was Curvature Hunter. He was talking about I'm doing this on the side of a canal for some reason. And he was using actually my footage of the canal in Boog, which we all like to call Bug. And then he was using my graphics and stuff, and and he still won't own up to it. But what he did actually allude to me in a couple of other, miscellaneous scattered comment sections is that he actually came out and said that the reason why he did that was basically to bait people to dismiss the test as completely worthless just because it was being performed by a flat earther. And then what he wanted to be able to do is basically take those names, and he actually admitted this to me. He wanted to take those names and turn around and call them hypocrites if he found them supporting me. Clever plan, but unfortunately, everybody who saw him using my graphics and my footage of the canal knew where it came from, and they busted him outright. And so ultimately, it's it was a wasted cause. Now, since he seems to be unable to admit to that and actually go public and say that he actually did that on purpose in an event to try and call other people out as hypocrites, that just puts him to me as a liar. Not to mention the fact that just the other day he said that Euclidean geometry is solid logic, agreed that parallel lines don't cross, but then as soon as I showed him a sunset and a boat going over the horizon, he seemed to forget all that and go back to perspective, which basically means that he's denying just for the sake of supporting himself. But all that aside, then Riley approached me, and Riley said, "Oh, you and Bev need to talk. You and Bev need to talk." And Bev has tried to egg me on, come on and chat on my Discord and all this. And like I said before, and I've said this a couple of times, I've heard a couple recordings of his Discord, and it basically sounds like a bunch of crack addicts with head injuries. And I mean, it makes no sense what the hell's going on there. So that mixed with the fact that I'm talking to somebody who actually lies to defend themselves, I'm sorry, man. I have no interest in that. And as a matter of fact, as I also told Riley, it's also why me and Riley don't have live streams together anymore, is because I have no interest in hanging out with Riley on a live stream, because even though I have given him opportunities to actually define information on the screen, define measurements, define exactly how things go, and he agrees with everything that's being shown, he'll turn around and say, they didn't show anything, and he was talking about all lies, and blah, blah, blah. And so I don't associate myself with people like that anymore. I really don't. And so it's I know it gives a that does give kind of a bad look to meth heads. Yeah. But
well, real quick though, Sly, because of some of the stuff that he was saying in last night's stream, let's clear one thing up real quick. Did you watch his stream while it was live?
No, I did not.
Yeah, because he was saying he kept on calling you out to join him in, but you were too much join because he thought you might have been in chat.
Really?
Yes.
Well, when was it actually streamed? Hold on.
It was streamed last night.
At about what time? Your time?
Oh God.
18. It says 18 hours ago. That's not giving me very good though.
Yeah, that's when the stream started. Was 18 hours ago.
Started 18 hours ago. Well, let's see. Hold on. Wait, 18 hours ago?
Yep.
How were either of them awake?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 o'clock my time, and I know that they're 5 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, sorry, I was what do you call it? It's a school night, so what do you call it? I was in bed by 10:30, 11, and I fell asleep on the couch in an ice cream coma because I got a brand new DVD and I was really happy, and didn't even watch the whole thing. but no,
because he was going on and on about how you're just too scared and you're a coward and you're a weasel, so you wouldn't discuss it with him live.
Yeah, well, the thing is he's been trying to egg me on to a discussion, and I'm sorry, I have no interest in having a discussion with people who deliberately and have outright shown that they lack the integrity for an intellectual discussion about anything. I mean, literally. I mean, what point would there be in that? There would literally be no point. I would sooner be on a discussion with Nathan.
Wow, that says a lot.
Okay, and Nathan, has been outright busted for lying about people and for ducking subjects that they that would otherwise prove the globe. So I mean, I have absolutely no interest in that. There would be no upside to that. Now I understand, I mean, there's people like Reds and stuff like that who would have a weenie roast doing that shit. But me personally, no. I have one requirement, and that is if you don't do the work, I don't want to fucking talk to you. And so, what up, Flo? And I haven't seen that name in a while. But so it's just I have no interest in that. So, and if he's actually going to go out and do this test, which is hypocritically pretty much the same as mine, if he's going to go out and do his test, hey, more power to him, really. And guess what? I will be waiting here to critique your results because I will be looking at every single fucking thing. That's the one thing that the few people who watch my stuff, it's the one thing that people actually expect from me is that I detail my results. Let's see. Have you tried talking to us, Sly? Guess what, Bev? I have tried talking to you. And guess what? You refuse to own up to your lack of integrity. So until you do that, he's in the chat right now. He's in the chat right now.
Yeah, I'm about to link him to something he really needs to look at before he decides to critique your test. I'm going to show you where you and Anthony are wrong, dumbasses.
Okay. But what do you
there you go. Try thinking. That's just for you.
Now, one thing that I thought was funny. Let me go into sharing my screen here. That is this and transition. Okay. So one thing I thought was hysterical was, first of all, Bev has no idea, apparently has no idea what a tangent is, and neither does Riley. Otherwise, they actually sat here around the 17-minute mark, and they were critiquing the fact that my new test, for leak isolation purposes only, is individual tubes as opposed to my previous test, which was all connected together. Now, Bev actually said this part was hysterical. He said that I can't have a U in the tube without a T connector.
What?
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
It's just 17 separate water levels, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing original in it.
A T connector connecting what?
He's just...
Well, hold on.
I'm trying to cite the top of a loader. I don't know.
What would happen there is he's gonna get it appearing flat, but he's gonna say that it's curved.
Actually, no, Riley, ace at all. But yes, 17. Actually, you're wrong. Thanks for being able to count, Bev. It's actually 16, and yes, 16 individual water levels. 16 individual water levels will give me 16 tangents, 16 individual tangents. And those 16 individual tangents will either produce a curved view or produce a flat view. Okay? And the whole purpose of doing this test, is because of the fact that whenever you talk about curved water and things sinking below the horizon, just about, well, the majority of flat earthers find some way to incorporate a magical horizon in this. You know, whether the horizon's causing it or it only happens at the horizon or da-da-da-da-da when you use other examples. So the short end of this is this eliminates having a horizon because this is looking down a cross-section. And yes, 16 individual tangents. Yes, tangents. Look up the word. You like to look up words. Look up the word tangent. 16 individual tangents will either produce a flat or a curved result. Period. Now, if you got a problem with tangents, then you need to stop trying to quote me Euclid. Okay? Look up circular geometry or geometry with circles. Anyway, so anyway, they one of the things that I found hysterical is, like I said, he turns around and they're mocking the fact that I have, instead of the connected water lines, I now have individual water lines. They were mocking that fact, but then when Bev turns around and starts drawing individual ones, they both found that to be brilliant.
No, yeah, it's because it's hypocrisy. That's MO number one.
Right. And let me also say this, Bev, because Bev says that I have a problem with the 3-location water level test. I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I saw it when the dude thought it was cool as hell. As a matter of fact, I felt a little bit. I was like, well, people are going to think I'm copying him, but nevertheless, I saw the 3-1 with the what did he have? He had like soda in the tubes or something, a darker liquid, and then what do you call it? And he had a theodolite at one end. But I saw all the excuses that were made up in his comment threads talking about, oh, how do we know that theodolite was aligned correctly, and this and that, and I mean, all the excuses. So what I did was I built one that my original one, which was basically a connected a whole bunch of them, so you can actually see the arc. That's the whole purpose. So, I mean, there's nothing there's nothing to discuss after that. Now, when everybody wants to turn around and says, "Oh, perspective is causing the curvature and all this other stuff," well, then you will have to explain why it is that the marker light that's going to be out down at the distant end is not going to be curving with it, because it will if it had to do with something curving due to flurspective, then that light would never appear at different heights from the water, ever, because it would look the same all the way down. So I mean, it's just it's simple geometry, and so the only hard part about it is the sheer scale of it, because you have to do it over 1,600 meters, plus another 100 meters for standoff for the camera. And yes, the reason why you stand off the camera is because you don't want the first pole taking up the entire first frame. That's simple to understand. But the whole purpose in doing it with the newer version, which is actually going to take less time to set up, because I will not have to wait for anything to equalize, I will not have to keep on filling up water, which we had that problem last time, is because of the fact that this will actually isolate leaks to 100-meter stretches as opposed to inspecting the entire line if we notice that water's going down. That's the first thing. The second thing is it just makes it that much easier to manage. But it's still going to be the same length. It's still going to be regular water, and guess what? It's still going to be the same tubes that even Bev tried to call me a scammer for having a fucking fundraiser for. Guess what, homie? I bought the equipment. Doesn't make me much of a scammer, especially when I came out below that which I needed to actually purchase everything, and a lot of my pocket, because flat earthers had my my fundraiser shut down. Okay, but yet plenty of people came out on their own that they were no longer going to win the camera, because there was no way that I could show that fairly. And guess what? I got about, I got a good bit of that money. And so I turned around and I put together the test and I went out and did it. And you know what? It failed due to gravity. Okay. Riley wants to say that it had something to do with too much pressure on on too much pressure on the T-joints. Well, the T-joints themselves were a problem because, well, they either they were cheap or they broke, they cracked in transit. I don't really know what the problem was, but I had leaks at the T-joints. I had leaks where people were, because this is a public area, I had leaks where people were riding their bikes over the damn pipes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So another thing that I'm going to be doing is that the location that I was doing at before was actually down from the side of the dam, or not dam, but the man-made canal. I'm actually going to be doing it up on the canal this time. I have a different way of supporting the uprights, because I'm not allowed to nail things in up there, because that's considered damaging the dike that holds that canal in place. But I have a different way of doing that. So I'm going to be doing that. Yeah, so this, and because my setup time is actually going to be shorter this time, I'm actually going to pull one out of the playbook of Jeranism. And I'm actually going to do, because I did find, and I'm on record as complimenting him, I did find his leveling or measuring the height off of water with a laser level and a measurement from the water level itself. I did find that to be really cool. So guess what? Instead of everybody arguing about flurspective and stuff, I'm going to be doing that measurement as well, because I thought that was a really cool idea. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it on the other one. In fact, I was pretty positive I couldn't because of the fact that the actual side of the canal, the physical barrier, was in the way, and there was no way I could have done it. But yeah, so let's see here. What are you asking? What's he asking?
Well, first he asked how much curvature, or let me go back up because his first question was, it was after that. You expected to see curvature of the water level. That was his first question. His second question is, how much curvature do you expect to see in 1,500 meters?
Well, let me put it to you like this. First of all, your question of how much curvature am I expecting to see is actually falsely worded. I'm not looking for how much curvature is there. I'm looking for how much drop occurs at the other end, and therefore the height above the chord in the middle. The height above the chord is going to be about 2 inches. The drop is going to be about 8 inches. Yet every water level that I do along the way with the canal next to it is going to be level, which is going to be just absolutely awesome. And so how much curvature I am, that's open to about 5 different ways that you can explain that. And like I said, I'm not worried about what Riley has to say about it, so, don't worry about that.
No, the water level doesn't drop. That's the whole point of finding this arc.
The geometric
length.
the geometric level that is equal with the surface of the earth and the surface of the water will create drop from the tangent of my starting location. I'm guessing you didn't look up that word tangent again. So everybody go ahead and hashtag try tangent.
Again, Bev, I actually gave you a link to the video I did last night right after you guys stopped your stream, showing where you're wrong.
Oh yeah,
on your definition of level.
Yeah, that was awesome. They tried to say that what do you call it? If it was curvature, then this level here was going to be different than these two levels.
Because the accumulated curve.
I thought that was hysterical when he said that. Okay, let me bring everybody up to speed. Everybody who's watching right now, let me bring you all up to speed. What he basically said is if he has 3 connected water levels, right? 3 connected water levels, and then 2 independent water levels. These 2 independent water levels would be level with the first one, and for some reason, this one in the middle would be higher if the Earth was curved. Higher than these 2 red ones.
No.
But that's what he said.
But that's not reality.
But that's what he said.
I know that's what he said. That's why I made my little 5-minute video.
Let me see if I could bring up the actual quote, because he actually says it quite shortly. Okay, this was when he brought out the laser level. Yippee for you. Hold on.
It's going to be level there at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay. We know how
I've
to
just
water
got
level
rumpus
works.
resonating in my ears.
We're going to make another one because Sly Sparkane said he doesn't like the one with the 3 in the middle.
Nope. Flat Earthers don't like the one with the 3rd.
Right?
Yeah, but without it though, you can't tell. If you put one in the middle, then you can see whether that one in the middle is higher or lower if you have another frame of reference, right?
Yeah. We need.
Okay, so he's saying that you can't know if this is higher or lower without another frame of reference. Now, that frame of reference in this case would be the chord between the first one and the last one. Imaginary line drawn between the water levels here. If this is higher than that, curvature. If it's even with it, not curvature. Pretty simple. But this is where they get their reference point. Everybody brace yourselves. Get away from sharp objects.
Another frame of reference. So what we'll do is we'll make put another water level separate, completely separate, like that, and another one goes like that.
So now what are you going to get?
Okay, now ready? He's saying an independent one here and an independent one here. After mocking me way back around 17 minutes for having independent water levels, this is what he's going to say. Now, oh man, this is fucking awesome.
get is you're going to get kind of like the U-bend that Sly's got, the two U-bends, but you've got that middle one, which if there is a hump in the middle, it'd show in it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So let's put a level on it, fill it with water.
Okay, so you caught that. So if this water level here is higher than these two, then it means curvature.
Oh,
This is the absolute level of ignorance that we're dealing with here. The absolute level of ignorance, because to be honest with you, I don't even know how they got that far with it. Okay? This is a tangent, buddy. A tangent. If you drew a chord between here and here, then it's going to be the same thing as you drawing a chord from here to here or here to here. It's going to have that level to it. Now, it's not going to be different than what this water level is if these water levels here on the edges are the same. It's not going to be different. Okay.
Let me explain this in a real simple way that even Bev should be able to understand.
Go for it.
Bev, the way you're wanting to do this test, flat, if we assumed both models were correct for argument's sake, on a flat Earth or a round Earth, all three of those center levels would remain the same height.
Exactly.
It would not be a determining factor. That's why Sly is using a chord by using a light from the first pole to the last pole to show where a straight line is compared to the actual water levels.
Exactly. See, here's what he wants to say. Okay, I'm going to make it so you can see it a little better. I don't know how good it's coming over out of the video. So hold on a second here. Let's see. Shape, outline, black, shape, weight, width. Okay, shape, fill, no fill. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm just going to draw out the whole thing here. All right, so there's that. Oh wait, I forgot one. Needs to be back here. Like this, right about there, right about there, and then these over here, like that.
Hold on, he's misconstruing again in chat. The straight line is the light, not the water level. That's what the straight line from the light is testing. If the water is straight or if the water is curving. That's where you're missing the whole pyramid.
Okay, so I'm gonna go like this, like this, like this. And then I'm also going to go like this. Excuse me, guys. You guys know I love drawing this shit out. Let's see. And then go like this. Because I'm going to explain what it is that he is precisely saying in his video. Okay. So, and then what I'm going to do is first I'm going to make all these lines the same width. Shape, outline, weight, like that. Okay, so this, and this are the black ones. Shape, outline, black. Then this, this are the red ones. Okay. Now the red ones are independent, whereas the black ones are connected. Now what he's saying is when he fills up here with water, what he's saying is, hold on, that water, if on a flat Earth, okay, these two will obviously be the same height. All right, hold on. And then what he's saying is that the way he's going to do his test is this connected one is going to be the test, where these two here are going to be the reference. Now what he's saying is going to have what should happen on a globe Earth. This is what he's saying should happen on a globe Earth, okay? First, these water levels will be the same. And then these water levels will be the same. And if it happens on a globe Earth, this is no bullshit. This is what he's saying. If it's globe Earth, this is how his test result is supposed to look. Everybody, please conceptualize this. This is what he just said is supposed to, because these These ones here will somehow be unaffected by the curvature of the Earth. These here would be somehow unaffected by the curvature of the Earth. Only the black one that's connected will be affected by the curvature of the Earth. Therefore, you're supposed to get a middle finger out of this.
Yep.
This is exactly what he's saying should happen on a globe.
No, it's like I said last night in my video.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way level works the way it does on a sphere, they'll all show up as the same level, and they're going to use that as, see, proof it's a flat Earth. And yes, you did say exactly that, Bev. And Anthony totally sucked your penis for it.
Now, let me show you why you're wrong, Bev. What I do is, because the tubes themselves are kind of irrelevant as far as their height, as long as they're, the tubes themselves are literally irrelevant as long as they are connected. Okay, they can even arc over the top of the water level, and it won't matter. Okay, literally, that's just fact. Okay, but now what you don't want to tell people, Bev, is, let's see, shape fill, no fill, shape line. I'm going to use this as the green line. Now, no, I'm not saying that the Earth is oval like this. I'm just producing an arc that we can use in the screen. That's all. So, curvature of the Earth, what's going to happen, Bev, is, well, let me move this down to the first ones there. Okay, what's going to happen is on this, well, actually I need to change that a little bit. This is how water levels work. Water levels draw nothing more than a chord line between two locations. A chord, okay? A chord is defined as a direct line between two locations. That's how you get level between those two locations. That's what water levels are for. Okay? It draws a chord. It does not draw a, this is the surface, so therefore it must be like that. Okay? This is what your water levels will look like. So what you're hoping to see is that if these three are damn near close to each other, then that must mean the Earth is flat.
Yep, that's the straw man that they built.
And oh my God, you couldn't be more wrong. So, I don't know what else to say to you about that, because this right here, if you bring this to anybody who has ever studied any kind of physics or construction or surveying, because we know you hate those people, and ask them if this would ever happen. The reds versus the blacks here, if that would ever happen.
I think he's still missing the point of how you're going to actually do the test to get your actual frame of reference. You're missing the chord. If you can go back to that other picture.
Okay.
Just undo. Okay, you see that below the green line going all the way across? That's the chord from point A to point B, all the way from the start to the end.
Right.
He's using that chord line to measure how high above that those center winds go.
Mm-hmm.
Because if those are straight and those, it's the same height, yeah, the Earth is flat. If the water goes above that chord line, the Earth is not flat.
Period.
And that's what your people are so afraid of this test for, because you're afraid you already know the results. And the sad thing is these results are already known because of one of your favorite people, Jaron.
Yep.
He actually did a water level test.
Interesting.
It wasn't marked as a water level test, but he used the water level to get a height for each of the targets, or all of the holes. And guess what didn't happen? It didn't show a flat Earth, using 3 markers.
Yep.
The camera, the center point, and the end.
And I remember we even got mad that he reduced to 3 markers.
Yeah.
But you know what? It worked.
So Jaron's already done a test similar to this, just using light instead of water, and it didn't work out for the flat Earth, because that was interesting.
That's one horizontal. Well, here, let me show you horizontal here, homie. Okay, horizontal between these two chords is there. As a matter of fact, let me make that nice, big, fat, and bold so you can see it. Wait. Okay, hold on. Let me see what this does. Come on.
Quick, take it down.
Yeah.
You think you're taking down the video because you got embarrassed.
Oh. So, 522. Why does it keep buckling like that? Okay, now it's going up high. No. Anybody looking at this, this is my bit rates for some reason. It looks like it's still rolling again, right?
No, they're saying it's back now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Does everybody see these bit rate? Now it just kicked back up. It was going like at 500 before. Yeah, look, it's taking hits. I don't fucking know why. But anyway, so
He says you're giving away the game. What, he's showing where you're being a fraud?
all right. So it looks like some of it's coming back now. See this? This is what this thing kicking back off and going back up. It's not higher in the middle. When you are looking over a chord, it is.
Yeah, looking over the chord, it'll be higher. When you're looking over the level, it won't be. It's all the same height above the Earth's center.
Yeah. So there's nothing. I don't even know where you're going with that. It's not higher in the middle. See, a lot of flat Earth. I'm going to 0 again.
Weird.
What the hell is going on with that? Maybe if well, no, look, now it's fucking just kicking.
Do you
Man.
check your surveys before doing this publicly? Oh my god.
What's that?
Apparently, ignoring Jared's question.
All right. Well, I don't know why this keeps going up and down. This has nothing to do with me. I don't know why it's doing it. I'm just sitting here talking on the mic. But my stuff's kind of kicking up and down. So if you guys can still hear me, which I hope you are, because it's kind of at least up in the yellow again. Say this. This right here is, see, every time I go to say this, it goes down again. This right here is what flat earthers like to claim is going uphill. No, these are all equal distant from the center of the earth. It's not going uphill, even though they like to call it a bulge above a chord. Learn some geometry. Okay? Learn some geometry. Yeah, I know. I see it. All right, so are we rolling again? I think we're rolling clean now. Apparently. Draw the eye level and the tangent. Well, I mean, that this right here. Hold on, let me bring it out front. Bring it to the front. And then select it again. It's big and thick. Okay, this right here, this blue line right here, is the chord between the first post and the last post. That is going to be where the eye or the camera is looking. That's where it's going to be aligned. I heard you were schooled by a 13-year-old. Who?
Pega? No
Pega?
idea.
I have no clue what that is.
It's a user in the chat. I don't know the context of the conversation.
See, that's how you know. Yeah, no, I'm not on ISDN. I'm actually on 500. I don't know. The Vodafone router sucks. But yes, everybody read that comment right there. I heard you were schooled by a 13-year-old. Here's the point. When you have nothing left to say, this is when you start talking like this.
Again, I think he's actually referring to another user in the chat. I don't.
No. He is. I saw who he's talking to. Papega lol. But this is what it looks like when you have nothing else to say. So.
Well, let me say this for you. Try thinking, because you're talking about other people schooling other people. Anthony made a prediction on what should be seen if the Earth was a sphere, and I already had footage of exactly what, and then he just avoided it like the plague.
Oh, it's dying again.
Ask him about anti-crepuscular rays.
Well, I don't know how this is going anymore because it keeps on diving in and out. Oh, now it's jumping. Look at that. It went from 0 to 2. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm guessing that you got
I got
a lot of
router
people in your
issues.
neighborhood downloading a lot of porn.
Yeah, it could be. But no, that's that. I don't know what it is, but it's just going to total shit. So I don't know how many people this. Let's see. I thought you said it dropped from your position. It dropped from the
Again,
tangent.
he's not understanding how it works.
Hold on. Let me give you one. Okay. It doesn't drop. Okay. It's a drop from the tangent. So, if I have a ball, and I have a tangent. You guys have all seen this picture before. Me looking level in each direction. This is a tangent. So yes, something that's over here is going to be lower than that tangent. But when you look at it, when you look directly at that point, there appears to be a bulge that flat earthers like to say for some reason is going uphill. I don't know why that is, because then you're like actually conceding to a weird form of gravity, which yeah, I don't know where you guys got that from. Not the chord. Show him that the effing center.
Basically, what's he's wanting to ask is to have the first position at the top where your tangent is, and then draw the rest of it out going down. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, from the center. So basically, I didn't mean to do that. Hey, what's up, Dang Jaws? Shape outline. Let's make it so I can see it. Right. This is the same level from the center of the Earth. And then same line. This is the same level from the center of the Earth. I could do this all day, but I'm not going to. This is the same level. Oops, well, that's a little bit higher. But this is the same level from the center of the Earth.
Again, try thinking 5-minute video last night on my channel. I'll give you the link again.
No, I know exactly where he's going with that comment. Where did you get the circle from? You're presupposing the globe.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing. That's what this test is going to find out, because if the Earth is flat, the chord line will match the water line.
Exactly.
If the Earth is not flat, the chord line will not match the water lines. Why are you afraid of this test?
Let's see. To be able to answer all about refraction and the straightness of your chord, ideally you need 2 surveyors with 3 adelites, each end pointing at each other. Well, I agree, but to the depth that we're going with this, one side, I am going to do a view from the opposite end. But yeah, what does he say?
Oh, he says level isn't curved; it's a straight line. Do you know how a wheel works? Try thinking. Do you know why a wheel is as efficient as it is? It is because it is a continuous level surface all the way around. It is equal distance, so it takes no more energy to try to make it roll. Same thing. Level does not mean straight. It means equal distance.
Yep. I do not have a date yet, Harry. That will be later in the year. Obviously, we're in full summer swing right now, so it would be pointless for me to even lug the stuff out there, because even on a cold day with the sun shining, we saw how bad the footage got distorted in my preliminary filming runs. So it's most likely going to be in the fall. And plus, we need to get over all this quarantine stuff. Make sure that, I mean, look, I'm not trying to spread no diseases, and I'm not trying to get them neither. So
Hold on. Let me address Mick, his comment about what Mick said. Mick was talking about gravity. I was talking about geometry. There's where the mix-up came from.
GPS says wheels are fake, man. The surface of a wheel is level all the way around. That's why when you ride on it, it's not bumping you around. It's level axle all the way around.
And if you go back to Mick West discussing my wheel example, he talked about gravitational potential. He was talking about gravity. I was talking about geometrically.
Wheels were invented by NASA. I totally. Let's see. Try thinking is a mental midget. Yes, 100%, Dang Joss. I need a cloudy day. I need a cloudy, cool day.
Again, try thinking. Go back to your recording since you have it recorded. When I brought up the whole wheel example, the first thing he talked about was gravitational potential, and that's why it didn't apply to a wheel. So yes, we were talking about two different things, and he didn't get that.
And let's all not forget that, Try Thinking is somebody who, again, I'll bring this up again, lied to people about my test by posting my graphics and my footage of a canal saying that he was part of it, and at one point even claiming the test so he can get people to critique it just based on the fact that he's a flat earther, so he can call them out as hypocrites if he found them supporting me. Let me also say this. Yes, I have plenty of critics. Get in line, dude. I have plenty of critics against this test. 100%. And I'm talking about rational folks, okay, who, have come to me with various ideas and various problems that they foresee with it, most of which I have to honestly say were dispelled the first time I did the test because it had to do with with lining things up. And they said how difficult that was going to be. It turns out it wasn't that difficult at all. However, if you don't need to bait people to have critiques. I got a whole line of them. Okay? And I don't need a flat earther to go out there and try and bait people into calling them hypocrites. I don't care. Okay, that was what Martin said. Martin didn't post my graphics and claim it as his test. Martin didn't post my footage and claim it as his test. Martin didn't tell me that the reason why he did it was he wanted to see who would criticize the test just because you as a flat earther were hosting it. Martin didn't do any of that, so I don't know why I'm not even 100% certain who Martin is.
I think you're talking about Martin.
Who?
Martin Leakey.
Okay, well that's not meant to be a slight. I'm not 100% sure who Martin is. So you keep on saying, oh, Martin did this, and Martin did that, and Martin did this, and all this. Martin didn't do any of this shit. So, let's see. Do you get a cold eye when you look at the moon? You might want to ask Riley that, man. He seems to be the master of, claiming weird things about the temperature of the moon.
And the size.
And the size. Yeah, still waiting on that one, aren't we? How many years has that been?
3 now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here, Geist. Let's see. Try thinking. You're the one who said it was. Yeah. That's true. He did say it was in the UK too, even though that that canal was pretty far from the UK, homie. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring this to light because I love it when idiots get up on screen and make absolutely hysterical claims. So, ultimately, no, Riley, this is not what would happen if the Earth was curved. That is the stupidest thing that I have ever heard you say. It really is. And you've said a lot of stupid things. This is what it would look like if the Earth is curved. Okay? And this is what it'll look like if lined up along the cord, because I know what you're going to say. If I have these level, then then he's going to say that that it's proving a flat Earth because these three were in alignment. You need to be able to align it along the cord. If they line up with the cord, you got something to talk about. If you don't have,
you got to remember that Bev is demanding you not use the cord. He wants you just to use the water, referencing the water alone.
well, see, that's the beauty of the test that I'm doing. The water itself is going to do whatever physics demands of it. However, the light that I'm putting at the end is going to draw the cord. And I don't care if you don't like the cord, because the cord is actually an important piece of this test. It's a very important piece. Otherwise, people are just going to turn around and say, "Oh, well, it bends because of perspective." No, it doesn't, because if that light stays at the same height all the way across, then you got something to talk about. If it doesn't stay at the same height with relation to each one of these water levels, then guess what? Earth is not flat. That's geometry, buddy. We'll see what happens, won't we? Well, you said that you're going to go out and do a test. I already said when I'm doing mine, and I already have the equipment to do it. And I'm not going to lie to you. The new version of the test, the new version that I have, which is hold on. Yeah, this was the footage. This was the footage that he actually posted up on the thing. That's my footage. The old version, everything was connected. The new version is several independent water levels. And by the way, if you don't like this method, then you might want to go tell Dell that he's full of shit too. Because I'm not going to lie to you, this is very similar to the test that Dell did, and Dell decided not to publicize it.
Imagine that.
I'm going to be doing a laser level similar to what Jaron was doing on his first test. Hold on a second here. Let me go get this. Where's that damn picture? There it is. Okay, I'm going to be doing my test along this path. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have basically a foam boat with a big tall stick on it. And I'm going to use a laser level at each one of the posts and compare it against the water level. And I'm going to be doing that each time. Yes, thank you. That's my video. And isn't it funny that you used my footage on your tweets? Don't make me go get them. But anyway, I'm going to be using a laser level out here. However, the end-to-end laser is not going to be used. There are guidelines against pointing a laser into crowds. This is a public area, and well, it's just a good way to get your ass in trouble. And plus, I'm going to have like 2 or 3 people there with me anyway, and I'm not trying to hurt their eyes either. I will be using a laser level out to the water at each point. Water is level? Yeah, water is. Now, when you get a grip on the definition of what level means, you let me know. I know how the dictionary says flat, horizontal, and all this other shit. But guess what? We're going to show you that that's not. Okay, that's just the definition of a word for common speak, not geometry. Because you were also saying that there was nothing that can go perpendicular to a sphere. That was also funny. So, anyway, like I said, I want to do this for a short time because I do have other engagements this evening. And sorry about the trouble in the middle of the stream. I have no clue why it was doing that. As you can see, it's good and stable now. I have no clue why that was doing that. So if there was any kind of chop up in the middle when this actually gets produced out, I apologize for that. But long story short, I have no control over it either. So that's just what that was. And as usual, everybody who came by, I really appreciate you swinging by. And thank you for the super chat. I think the super chat got cut when I was saying thank you for it. I don't know what Adobe has to do with this, but if you're saying Adobe versus PowerPoint, I'm more than happy with PowerPoint. But if there's some Adobe streaming software see again.
Eek.
What the fuck? 0.
Weird.
I'm not going to understand this.
I don't know, but it should be fine in the full video.
I hope so.
I mean, it should catch up with all of the dropped loss there because, you know, OBS is still sending it until it does send it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. So, anyway, Sean, as always, I appreciate you stopping by. And so what I'm going to do here is I am going to set this. Come on. That, and that.